I'm here to deliver a message of urgency and truth, one that cannot wait. I'm speaking to the Liberal and NDP voters who have stood by their parties, to the riding associations of Papineau and Burnaby South, and to every Canadian who still believes that loyalty to a party should never come before loyalty to our nation. In a better time, when politicians violated the public trust, they took responsibility. Leaders like Richard Nixon in the US and John Turner here in Canada stepped down, understanding that ethics and integrity are the pillars of a functioning democracy. Today, however, we find ourselves in an era where scandal after scandal is dismissed, or worse, defended. This lack of accountability has been enabled by those who continue to support these leaders without question. Since coming to power, Justin Trudeau has been involved in an endless list of scandals. Here are just a few. AugaCon vacation, Cash for Access fundraisers, SNC Lavalin affair, blackface, We Charity scandal, record-breaking national debt, dishonorable discharge of unvaccinated military personnel, the Emergencies Act invocation in Trudeau's perjury at the Public Order Emergency Commission, vindicated Canadian Armed Forces officers and their lawsuits, refusal to turn over House of Commons documents, most importantly, foreign interference allegations from CSIS and the 11 traitor members of Parliament. These are not just political failures, they are breaches of public trust, abuses of your faith as a voter, and betrayals of Canadian principles. Yet, the unwavering loyalty of Liberal and NDP voters keeps this government in power. By continuing to support Trudeau and Singh, you are not just complicit, you are actively endorsing the corruption and decline of our great nation. The truth is, the Liberal and NDP parties are not making Canada better, they are making it worse. Our government is supposed to represent our highest ideals, not drag them through the mud. It's supposed to inspire us to be better, not push the boundaries of what we can excuse. Yet here we are, with a government that refuses accountability, held in place by the very voters who could demand change. By staying silent, by defending the indefensible, by turning a blind eye, you are helping to dismantle everything that Canadians have built together. To the Liberal Riding Association of Papineau, Trudeau is your member of Parliament. It is you, your support, that keeps him in power. If you cared about Canada more than loyalty to a man, you would demand he resign, refuse to endorse him, and ensure he steps down. To the Burnaby South Riding Association, where Jagmeet Singh holds his seat, you have done no better. You hold the power to remove these leaders, but choose instead to protect them, enabling the continued erosion of our values and our future. Some of you may feel that the other political parties don't resonate with you, that the alternatives don't speak to your values. But that is no excuse to ignore corruption in your own ranks. By turning a blind eye, this corruption is no longer Justin Trudeau's or Singh's. It's yours. Supporting a party doesn't mean overlooking its flaws. It means being involved, holding it accountable, and demanding it lives up to the values it claims to represent. You have a choice. Stay with the party out of blind loyalty, or step up, get directly involved in your ridings, and work to fix the corruption from within. This isn't just a political issue, it's a moral one. Trudeau and Singh have been shielded from accountability, not just by loyal voters, but by those of you in riding associations who know their actions are wrong, yet are unwilling to challenge them. You have the power to demand answers from these leaders, to hold them accountable for what they've done. Each of you can question your MP, to refuse to let them represent you unless they stand for integrity, honesty, and transparency. But it requires courage and a commitment to your country above loyalty to your party. The recent attempt by 40 Liberal MPs to push for Trudeau's resignation is a perfect example of the cowardice that has become endemic in Canadian politics. They tried to act but gave up at the first sign of resistance. If these MPs truly believe in accountability, they would support a vote of non-confidence, bring this government down, and let Canadians choose new leadership. But they didn't. Instead, they retreated, showing that their allegiance is to their own security, not the well-being of this country. What's clear now is that the corruption within our government has done something unprecedented. It has awakened a citizenry that has never been before this vigilant, this determined to hold power accountable. Canadians in every province are now watching, investigating, and challenging their government at every level because we have learned the hard way that we cannot afford to look away. This vigilance didn't stem from trust. It arose from the deep and justified fear that our own freedoms are under threat from those meant to protect them. This is what unchecked corruption has done to Canada. It has forced us to recognize that we can no longer afford even a moment's lapse in attention when it comes to our leaders, no matter their party, no matter their promises. We can no longer blindly trust an elected official in any party at any level. They have shown us that without our constant oversight, without our relentless scrutiny, they will slip back into the shadows where corruption breeds and festers. This is the legacy of corruption that we must now fight against, a legacy that you, as Liberal and NDP voters, have the power to change. Only Liberal and NDP voters can change this. It is only you who can pull Canada back from the edge. If you continue to support these leaders, if you continue to ignore the damage being done, you are choosing to sacrifice Canada's future. Each vote you cast, each defense you make, each excuse you accept, it all contributes to a weakened, corrupt, and less accountable Canada. And if you feel a pang of guilt, that is your conscience calling on you to act, to demand better, and to make Canada a place of integrity once again. Supporting a leader means holding them accountable, demanding they live up to the standards that keep our democracy strong. To do anything less is to betray the values that Canada was built upon. I urge you to look beyond your party loyalty and consider your loyalty to Canada itself. Because if you continue down this path, Canada's decline will rest squarely on the shoulders of those who chose to stay silent. Patriotism is not blind allegiance. It is a commitment to the principles that make Canada great. For the sake of our country, for the sake of your children and grandchildren, demand integrity, demand accountability, and do what's right, not what's easy. Only you, the Liberal and NDP voters, can hold these leaders accountable. Only you can demand better from your MPs and riding associations. And only you can stop Canada's values from slipping further into corruption and decay. The future of this nation depends on whether or not you choose to act.